welcome. Over the Top Podcast. It's your boy HD with the Over the Top Podcast crew. Hey guys, before we get started, like I do it every show, first of all, thank everybody for joining. I understand you guys are busy schedule, so thank you for taking an hour out today to kind of listen to us and listen to this podcast. Hey guys, you know anybody that actually want to listen or you want to share, please share it. Not only we on WDJY 99.1 FM every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. You also can find us on all the way you get your podcasts. Also on our YouTube page. We also on Facebook. Also, the Facebook page, especially with sports, we haven't did in a while. We probably get that back going eventually. However, got that out the way. Let's see who we got going on. Q, what's going on with you today, man?
I'm sorry, did you mention we're getting a sports show back together?
Eventually.
Good. So let me tell you this now. I put it in a group chat, no one responded to it, so I'm going to tell it to the radio people. Luka Doncic should be the MVP. He should be because he had a great year. Let me finish. Kyrie is maybe the best number 2 option outside Kevin Durant right now, even though Kyrie's doing a better job. But besides those two, the Mavericks suck. Luka should be averaging a lot more assists. Kyrie too, but the cats are role players in Dallas. Suck.
Okay. That way to start the show off. That go with you, bro. What's going on, RJ?
Yeah. Good times. Celebrating Sean Taylor.
I see you rocking the Sean Taylor.
His untimely passing happened maybe like a week ago today. I mean, a week from now. And I just want to celebrate the young man's life. And I want to say something to people. Hey, man, be aware of the choices that you make in a rash moment, because that same choice may cost you the ability to protect your family. Him shooting a gun off at an untimely time cost him the ability to own a firearm, which could have protected him and his family. Make good decisions.
Good stuff. Getting a lot of meat potatoes. Playmaker, what's the deal, man?
Hey, man, I'm going to keep it light. How you doing?
Incredible. And last but not least, Miss T, what's going on to you?
What up, though? I'm doing okay. A little tired, but I'm okay.
One of them long weekends, huh?
What? See right there, sir.
But we're going to keep pushing. Hey, guys. Hey, so because we have so many Ask Toias, man, we just buzzing out the seams. And thank you for sending them. Continue to send them. So we decided, periodically throughout our podcast here to throw a little the Ask Toia show, so we can get through some of your questions, get you some of the Ask Toias, give you guys some good positive feedback. So tonight, though, we're gonna get into a couple of Ask Toias. So this should be very interesting. T, what we got on deck? The first.
All right, it's Ask Toia night. So, dear Toia, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson is the Republican nominee for governor. Recently, a few stories have come up about him not paying federal taxes for 5 years and his wife's nonprofit shutting down because of issues with the NCDHHS. With all this coming out, do you still think he actually has a chance at becoming governor? What are the OTTP crew's opinions about this man? Signed, Ty Love.
Ty Love. We're gonna start with who's gonna start with? Let's start with you, Playmaker. What's your thoughts on Brother Robinson?
I guess I'll keep it very simple. We got a lot of criminals in government right now. The guy in New York, you had the President 45. I mean, so this is kind of just status quo. Usually the dirt comes out after, but now you got the dirt coming out before. So, he ain't the only one. If you turn on the light and pull out the microscope or the magnifying glass, there'd be a lot of gators in that swamp. So, It is what it is at this point.
Facts. Q, little politics for you, man. What's the deal? What's your thoughts?
I mean, with what little politics I know, what I'm hearing is there's a Republican representative who has broken a few rules and somehow might still win despite breaking rules that everyone knows he's broken rules, but he's going to win regardless. It sounds like a regular Sunday to me.
Say less. I love it. RJ.
You're muted.
And man, it's processing, man. It's just that dude is a caricature of a candidate. You know, what's really crazy about this whole thing with the mega thing is that these people try to transition into a space and be like Donald Trump. One thing that you don't have, well, two things. You don't have the wealth, and you don't have the wealth, and you don't have the platform and the brand recognition. You can't do what he's doing. Mark Robinson is a clown, man. Ain't nobody gonna vote.
Oh, he missing one more thing, sir.
He already.
He missing one more thing, Ron. You know he missing?
Oh, well.
You don't have the connection for the protection, sir.
Yeah, connection. That's true.
Connection for the protection, sir. He's not Donald Trump. He may act like he's Donald Trump. He's not Donald Trump. He's not Donald Trump. I got a bigger issue. I'm gonna let you have it because I'm with Gary. It's par for the course. Isn't it about time that we kind of revise the job description to be governor and lieutenant governor, presidents? Maybe we should do a criminal background check. Maybe we should run some past records. We got some thieves on the record. It's like
put an age limit.
Maybe do an age limit, but maybe we should, because there is nowhere in the job application that you can't be a criminal and still be a congressman, or you can't commit a crime and still be a president. Don't you think we need to revise the job description? And for Lieutenant Robinson, hey man, we don't. It's a bunch of you guys out there. We see Tim Scott that fell to fall to the cracks. We see Herschel Walker fall through the cracks, and don't. Now you a little closer, but dude, once it's all said and done, and then them folks jump on your back, you're gonna turn back to your own community, and they're gonna say, man, you guys don't turn your back on me. No, you turn your back on your community, sir. So what you get is what you get. And he can remind me of your boy. What's your boy? The that on sports, the sports commentator,
Whitlock.
Whitlock. That's what this guy reminds me of. And both of you guys, to me, are clownish. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Toya, your thoughts.
So, Mark Robinson actually graduated from North Carolina A&T, and then he went on to the University of UNC, North Carolina. He is the first Black lieutenant governor of this state, and he has won the primary to run for governor under the Republican Party. So they did vote for him. This is what happens when we don't vote. It's so funny because Zoe and I were having a conversation about politics. We talk about stuff in the car one morning, and I'm explaining because, there's radio. They're talking about him on the radio. So we're listening to the radio, and she was like, oh, but he's Black. I was like, ma'am, he's not for us. And when I explained it to her, she says, oh, mommy, so he's a coon.
Yes.
I'm the mouse of babes. Even a 12-year-old knows he's a coon. The things that come out of this man's mouth, and now to find out that his wife is in trouble, she's overpaying herself for a nonprofit organization over $142,000. So they had to shut that down. You haven't paid taxes for 5 years. I mean, does this sound like somebody we already know? And that person whose name we don't speak of, literally loves this man. votes because he's one of those, good old boys. Y'all gotta vote. He man believes that, slavery was a good thing and LGBTQ is horrible and women shouldn't be here. And yet you married to a sister like what is wrong with her? I'm questioning her choices too. But birds of a feather. I like you said, he's like Whitlock. Like these are people we want disappeared. We don't need this kind of mess in our lives right now. And this is why we have to literally vote.
And let me say this: I don't think all Republicans are bad. So, but I think a lot of the views of Republican Party, not the racial stuff, but about the policies, some of them may line up, some of you may line up, and not line up with. This is not a party. He going through the fanfare of the extreme right and trying to being a cheerleader, and that's something that's crazy.
Women shouldn't be in church. I mean, and he said this in church.
Yeah. So North Carolina vote. North Carolina vote.
Please vote.
North Carolina vote.
My goodness. Okay.
All right, well, thank you, brother. Ty Love. I hope we kind of gave you our opinion about the guy. I hope it was clear on what we think we stand on.
I think he already knew how we stood by the way we talk all the time. But yeah.
Oh, he was race baiting.
I want this. Because I live in North Carolina, I need this man to go away. Go away. But we're gonna be back in 1920 something.
That's right.
Okay, so our next one is, Dear Toya, I listened to your episode on policing in America and just wanted to know your thoughts on Dexter Reed. Do you think the officers involved will have any sort of punishment for excessive force? Does it take 96 shots to take one person down? Signed, Fed Up with Chicago Police.
Playmaker.
Yeah, this is the type of story that we come across way too often, where it is just, it's unbelievable. I mean, 90-some shots. I mean, it's just unbelievable that the police could justify or attempt to try to justify that many shots for any situation. I mean, 90 shots, you going against that's a war. That's not just not just one man. So it's, unfortunately, we still are hearing about these type of things all the time. Well, too much, I guess one time is too much. And I think it's just very sad that we still got to deal with this kind of stuff.
Q.
That's a lot of shots. Why do you, if you're properly trained, one shot is enough. And that's if you need to shoot in the first place. 96. Unless they were fighting Godzilla and King Kong. 96 is just 96 is too much of anything.
Yeah.
Facts.
96 is too much. Let alone, why do you have 96 bullets in the first place?
Well, it was a multiple cops, so
it was.
Yeah, that.
So wait, maybe I should. So for people who don't know, because it's a lot of people who don't know, do a little background. So Dexter Reed was in a very tinted car, riding down the street. Now, Chicago has this tactical unit that they dress in regular clothing that they set up to,
undercover.
That, and just to prevent more crime in Chicago. So they said that he was driving without a seatbelt. Now, my question is, Windows. When I watched the video, the windows were black. How could you see this young man not have a seatbelt? And then when they approached the car, they said he picked up his gun and shot an officer, and this officer got grazed by a bullet in his hand. And this shot, which you don't hear no shot until they all start shooting. So I'm questioning that too, about this gun and this officer being shot. But he opens the door and they just start shooting. You got like a whole bunch of police officers surrounded this car, and 96 shots. But not only was it 96 shots, this man hit the ground, and yet they're still shooting. So they didn't stop even after he was on the ground. So now protesters, of course, we're going through all the rigmarole, but Chicago people want this tactical unit to go away because all they seem to do is excessive force.
Question.
Yes.
Did it say how many officers were there?
I think it was 5 or 6. I have to look
5 or
at it.
6.
It was a whole unit of officers. It wasn't just one or two.
I must say, if it was 5 or 6,
96 bullets.
If it was 5 or 6, and maybe my gun knowledge is very limited, but 5 or 6 does not go into 96.
There was some reloading going on there, but
some of them had time to reload. And you're telling me y'all need to train more because y'all can't aim, or y'all was shit.
4.
Man hit the ground, y'all reloaded and went back again.
It was 4 officers. Then 4 officers fired 96 shots in a span of 41 seconds. In a span of 41 seconds.
I'm going to kind of be like a somewhat of a contrarian on this from this aspect. One of the reasons why, like when I was a little kid, I wanted to be, I wanted to be a police officer when I got older, right? And when I started looking at aspects of things that they had to do and what they would have to do to be officers to make it work for themselves, I looked at it and I said, could I make those decisions? Do I want to be put in those positions? No. And so to be a police officer, it's a special set of circumstances and things that you have to do in order to be successful. So when I look at these people, man, I really had the utmost respect for them. And one of the things that I feel like, because I went through some of what they go through in terms of the training, a lot of them operate from a place of fear. So when you're operating from a place of fear and kill or be killed, then your force or the way that you interact with a person is going to be a lot more aggressive than it would be in a typical situation. So I'm thinking, it's not cool. There's too many cases of us getting shot like that, but at the same time, a lot of these officers who become officers really shouldn't really get past the psychological to become officers. They shouldn't even be in those offices. Whenever you have a case like what happened with that young boy, I can't even think of that boy. The little brother that got shot to death by that police officer. Everything we do in terms of policing should have been readdressed. And it wasn't because it was a little black kid. And so my thought process is that was extremely excessive. Some of these units are extremely aggressive. That's why they got rid of some of the divisions in LA and some of these other places where they feel like they have to pump themselves up to go out and fight against these. They call themselves crime fighters, bro. They had gangs inside the goddamn LA, daggone PD. So my thought process is, man, listen, it's extremely excessive, but I'm going to ask this question. For us to really have some success, where are our lawyers at? Where are the marshals? Where the people at that will really kind of fight this case and speak up? And then if Ben Crump goes out and get a check, does he ever really kind of fixate on setting any laws or any new standards. That's why I stand there. I think it's excessive, extremely excessive. But I understand.
So I did a Google search real quick. All I did was look up number of bullets in a gun that police officers use. 17 or 18, one or two.
Now, one cop actually shot 50. Now, it doesn't say what type of guns, but it does say one cop shot actually 50 shots.
I was about to say, 4 divided by 96 is 24. I mean, by my eyes, one of them reloaded, and it sounded like he reloaded twice.
Go ahead, Gary.
Well, I was piggybacking what Ron was just saying. You never hear about Becky getting 96 shots over a traffic violation. And just imagine what the outpour would be across the U.S. if it was a little white girl. Not saying that it matters race, but I think to Ron's point, I think laws would be in place. I think it will just be a different type of movement versus us just trying to fight to get even get the word out that this is happening and it's a tragedy.
But we've seen it time again because it does deal with race. A man goes and shoots up a whole church full of people and he gets taken out peacefully and taken to Burger King to eat. But a traffic stop causes 96 shots? 96.
Well, one of my friends,
Go ahead, Ron.
One of my friends is a police officer, said something to me that was really interesting. He's an inner police officer. He said, man, listen, when I would talk to these kids and have a conversation with them, a lot of the other officers of another persuasion are a lot more aggressive to these kids because they fear them. He said, hell, I might try to arrest them, detain them, and I might even fight with them. It's a situation because I'm hesitant to shoot them. He said, but some of the other officers would shoot them. So if you really think about it, they empathize with somebody that looks just like them. They identify with it. And that identification means that's one of the reasons why they had a push for a long time to get officers of various different persuasions into that network. However, one of the things that happens is they don't become who they are. If they Puerto Rican or Black, or they become blue. And when they become blue, man, they rain down on all of us, man. And so it's always a scary daggone thought when you think about it. But the issue is, and I'm going to tell you, this is where I think we've lost our way. One of the things the NAACP used to do, they had freedom fighters. And Thurgood Marshall was one of those freedom fighters. And they had lawyers that would press those cases. Right now, some of this stuff that's happening with DEI and other things that are taking place, nobody's taking up the affirmative for these programs the opposition to these programs being dismantled or destroyed. We need people that are going to the courtroom and will fight for us and not just get a check.
Yeah,
D.L. Hughley said it a couple of times. D.L. said a couple of times. The most dangerous place for a black man is in the conscience of white people because they fear so much. So I agree with a lot of Israel excessive shooting was based out of nothing but fear that this black kid had a gun and he shot, or he didn't shoot, but he saw a gun and he shot, and now we're in the gunfire. And not one, and I think it was set up from the beginning because I'm with you, Toya. The window was wound up. So how you know the man had no seatbelt with 10 on it? So the stop itself was not, I don't think, was operating in good faith. But then when he fired that gun, they just unloaded. And I think the train is the officer. I think more of the training to teach these officers how to deal with the public, but I think it's definitely needed. But I don't think these guys gonna go. I hope the justice be done. But
now there's still questions about, because the video doesn't show him firing a gun at all.
Right. Okay. So
that's why I say I question everything. And we were trained to listen to the story the first time you hear it, the first time it comes out. The right. Chicago Office of Police Accountability is is heading this investigation, because I guess this is a group of people in Chicago who, citizens are on this. And so they're just tired. These tactical forces that they put in these cities, like in New York, in Chicago, in Detroit, in Florida, in Miami, all these in Los Angeles, they're putting these things into place literally because it's legally killing us. Whereas before we get lynched, on the back road, but in 2024, from our time, we are legally killed, and they're getting away with it, and that's okay. And I agree everything what Ron said. We need people in place that are going to, like we did have back then. Now you got certain attorneys, civil rights attorneys, that work hard, but you can't keep getting the same ones because they're all over the place. Ben Crump can only do but so much.
So I think the one in Chicago, they have their force.
Yeah.
Those are citizens, but they work in like in a law copa or something like that. And they're there to actually investigate the police.
Yes.
And see what wrongdoing from the citizen standpoint.
The larger issue is that, okay, when we go through that process again, we have people, how do we hold these folks accountable? And I heard this brother say, man, unless we pass laws or we legislate things, we're not changing any of our environment. And so that's really the core of it. Like, we can protest. Hell, in Louisiana, Mississippi, and another state, I think Alabama, they made protesting illegal. Like, I mean, what are we talking about? Like, dude. And this is the problem, and that's a call. That's a sign that, like, the people that are champions for our people and our cause need to get back on their daggone job. And it's another part of this too. And I'm gonna shut up. We have to really take pride in our communities, and the pride in our communities have to extend to the point that we believe that we want to have a better community and educate our young men and young women better, so that they're not perceived in a negative way.
Okay, T. Last word.
Because when they see us, they fear us.
I think that fear is the key. Last word, T, and we can move to the next.
We just got to be better. And we also have to make sure our kids are, and it's sad in 2024 that we still have to have the talk. And we have not only have to, before it was, of course, to our men, but now it's to our girls too. Like, we have to have this talk at this time, but we just also have to make sure that our kids know their rights and that they're not, this child lost his life if he did have a gun for something just stupid. And it was unnecessary excessive force. Yes.
Survive the encounter.
So fed up with Chicago police. I know that person is actually from Chicago. We are fed up too, sir.
Yes. Yes.
So our next one is, we just go from worst to worst with these. Dear Toia, how are we supposed to send our children to school? This one actually is a video. Send our children to school when it seems like every day something new comes up about the teachers or principals doing inappropriate things. What does the over-the-top crew think of this case in Texas? Signed, Concerned Parent.
This is one of the most horrendous stories we have ever had to deal with in my history as an activist. We're talking about a teacher, a trusted servant teacher on a high school campus, recruiting prostitutes from her students to work for her son as their pimp. This teacher, Miss Grisby, was allowed to remain on this campus after it was brought to the school administrator's attention that this was taking place in February of 23. This was brought to their attention. But these same administrators, instead of thoroughly investigating the complaint, They retaliated against the teacher who brought it to their attention.
Ron, what's your thoughts?
It's horrible, man. I think that, one of the things that we revert to at times is we're to attribute to who we are. And for a teacher or educator to be involved in that is very disgusting. And both of them gonna have a long, hard time when they go to prison. They're not gonna be able to be amongst the population. But hey, man, it's just disgusting. And they need to throw the book at them. That's it. That's for me.
Playmaker.
Yeah, just to echo off of Ron, I mean, when you talk about a teacher at school, the kids to different teachers in the school, they look at them as role models. They look at them as career, not career, as counselors, as therapists, and for the woman to use her position to do the quote unquote recruiting is just awful. I mean, right now, just so many different things happening with education that it just makes it just very, very sad to see all of the different things that parents have to look out for. I mean, it's just so much. It's just a lot to try to process in 2024.
Your thoughts on that, Q?
I want to start by saying the man who was the black activist that was speaking.
Mm-hmm. Claudia.
Something about him just seems off to me.
Oh no, I love him because he does.
Yeah.
He's big in Texas. He in Houston.
Yeah, he is. I can tell he is. I was going to do research on that, and I saw another video of him. All I'm saying is he reminds me of the black advocates from the Boondocks.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Like I get you put it across, but now for the main issue here. How can you? I'm gonna read the exact quote. How to send your children to school when things that seem to happen every day? The same. This is not a reoccurring situation.
Actually, go ahead and talk, and then we'll talk about it.
I'm not saying not that part, not the actual. I'm talking about the teacher. The teacher doing it. The actual trafficking, yes, that's a very serious issue that police need to be worried about, not traffic stops. Find our children. Or not my children, I don't have children. Find the children. But you can still send your children to school because there's still good teachers in the school. I know one great teacher who teaches first grade Monday through Friday. Except days where in which case she'll come down here. You want to why? Because she's a good mother too.
But she ain't don't have she ain't out there pimping for a son either now.
That part.
That's different.
And there are not many teachers. There are many other professionals who do that.
So I don't know.
That would do that. But yes, still send your children to school because there are for every one bad teacher, there's like 15, 20, 100 good teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure generally most parents are not equipped to homeschool teach their children.
I think the question was more of everything that is going on. So I can say this here in the Queen City alone, in the Charlotte metro area, I should say, because it's a lot of the other counties like Catawba and, Union and Iredell and, this whole area. But from January to now, I think we have had 4 teachers fired and under investigation for inappropriate things. Now, last year, the year ended with a 26-year-old female teacher and her 17-year-old student having a whole affair. So I think the more of it was, how do we stop the inappropriate, whereas in teachers are doing inappropriate things to kids.
Well, so I think I think you need to raise the salary of teachers, and you need to raise the requirement for teachers. The requirement and
the background check needs to be better.
For the
Hold on now. Let's
not only a background check, need a child abuse check. You need, and the lady and the teacher who pimped her son, she need to be thrown under prison.
Well, she is.
A lot of that is deviance, y'all. Though, like a person does not necessarily show the manifestation of what they are until they're placed in a said environment. And then when placed in that environment, then it manifests it. So like if you passive person and people put you in conflict, you're gonna be a passive person. If you're an aggressive person, people put you in conflict, your fight or flight gonna kick in. You're gonna be an aggressive person. A lot of these people that we're talking about are naturally sexually aggressive. Just what they have done has not necessarily manifested in certain situations or circumstances. So that's what we're really effectively seeing. It's not that they ain't participating in the behavior, it's that behavior hadn't been talked about. It's a lot of dudes, like little dudes, and I can honestly say, like, I ain't necessarily to get mad, but hell, I've been fondled too as a little boy, not by an older girl. So it's not like, but I ain't look at it as like, hey man, it's a bad damn thing. I look at it like some bad stuff happened. But at the same time, I was like, oh, I was interested. So the curiosity that you have as a male, I don't know, it's the mind frame. Then when you start thinking about it from the perspective of some of these females and these males, and you go out and you daggone participate in that behavior, bro, you in a different zone, man. And those people, man, they deviant, man. I'm telling you, man. Like, listen, can I say one? I'm gonna check. I talked to this about. Rhea Michelle is dating a 21-year-old young man in the NBA. Mm-hmm. She went from one generation to another generation.
That part.
Yeah.
That's horrible, man. I'm not trying to judge that one
older woman who's doing that, and they're getting pregnant so they can keep up their bag with these young boys.
And that's what I'm saying. But nobody says anything about it. But when it's the older guys, like this young man that was dating Russell's daughter, and what a 65-year-old man doing with a daggone 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old girl?
She's
what they
21.
got in common?
She's 21, but nothing.
But still,
nothing.
But how could he say something when her mother? He was a certain age when he got with her mother. They met when she was a teenager.
So now I'm gonna say this.
He say something about
it. It might have been. I hate to say this. It might have. He knew he was wrong because he knew he was wrong. But I don't know about her family lineage and how they look at it, because when somebody's going to marry into a family, I don't want to say they're looking for a come up, but they are expecting that person can be able to solidify the next generation. Does that make sense?
If I can jump in here.
So
go ahead, Q, real quick, then Toya wrap it
up. We kind of switch lanes. If we can switch back to the correct lane we were in. The teacher needs to be fired.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what's going on. I'm going to tell you what's going on with it. So the teacher was arrested, and she has a $750,000 bond. The three victims were 15, 16, and 17. And she has been banned from talking. So here's the other thing. She sought out students who were runaways and homeless. So kids who had
the one that you can take advantage of.
Yes, the ones you can take advantage of. Kids who have nothing and nowhere to go, you're giving them a place to go. So you're looking like a good person, but you're putting them in a situation that isn't healthy or good for them. So you're a predator. So
correct. So she's gonna be a pedophile the rest of her life. What else? What happened to the young man? He in jail too?
yes, he's
And
in
Okay.
jail
the
too.
last,
So they go to court.
the administration who was notified and
That part.
they should be arrested.
Correct.
They should all be
That's what I wanted to
fired.
get to.
Correct.
They should all be fired because
Everybody.
they knew somebody came to them and said, "Oh, they'll handle it." So this is where we have problems in lack of communication in the school system. But because these kids are runaways, it's like, oh wow, she's just being, you know what I'm saying? You have to
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to all kids. That runaways and homeless kids are at high risk of being trafficked. Those are high risk kids. These are the ones we need to pay attention to the most.
We gotta do better, parents and
We do.
teachers.
And I
We gotta do
understand the
better.
concerned parent because I am a helicopter mother. And I appreciate that question for pointing that out to me. That story out.
Yes. What we got next on day?
With the
We got
passing of
15
O.J.
minutes. So.
Simpson, the outpour of celebration that he is gone seems a little bit much. Now, jurors are coming forward saying they said not guilty because he was Black. Do you think this is true? And was it wrong for them to do that if it is true? Signed, Fred. So there was a video of one of the old reporters, Peg. He's one of those, conservative reporters, and he posted the video of the juror saying, "Well, yeah, we voted not guilty because he was Black." So it is what it is. What y'all think?
Quick answer. We go with you. Go with you, playmaker. Go with you, playmaker. Not go with you, Q. Go with you, playmaker. Your thoughts.
I mean, first of all, a man lost his life. I don't know why we are bringing up his, all this other stuff, instead of just, giving the condolences to the family and all that. But, during the trial, they presented evidence. The police mishandled material. So, I mean, at this point, I think it is what it is. When I look back at OJ, I don't think about the trial. I just think about his college career, and I just leave it at that.
Okay.
May he rest in.
Q.
Look, Black Power? I don't know. I will hold all opinions on whether they were right or wrong until after the Trump trial. Because if Trump gets off scot-free, then hey. But if he gets put in jail, then I'll say, all right, maybe I should have put OJ in jail. But I'll hold off on it. In a few months.
Go ahead.
Come back to me in a few months. We'll see how that goes first.
RJ, what's your thoughts, man?
You can't die in peace in America if you're a Black man.
No.
And that's a problem, because if we really talk about history, there are so many people that are extremely infamous for the things that they've done and participated in. Yet and still they're honored. Some of these people that have statues all around the South in various different places, participated in various different acts of violence towards people, but they're honored. Man, the hypocrisy of it. Like, do I like what's happened in that situation in terms of what took place with Ron Goldman and his wife? No. Some of that case reminds me of things that take place, because sometimes people get flagrant with the things that they do. And she was flagrant. Like, there was a lot of disrespect in that situation. Does she deserve to be murdered? Hell no. Did what happened should have happened? Hell no. But one thing I know, when people identify with a person being property and they have an extreme level of passion, you're gonna get some extreme violence. And what a guy told me that was a DSS worker, he said, women get angry, men kill. So when you're out here dating these men and You play in the field, some of these dudes feel different than you do. So I ain't saying OJ did or didn't. What I am saying is to make sure that you protect yourself, put some protection on yourself, and do the right thing best you can.
I'm gonna be real quick. He was tried by the 12 of his peers. 12 of his peers found them not guilty. I can't get in the psyche of everybody's mind at the time, but not guilty. Move on. You told you.
So I think a lot of people, you think a lot of people think, oh, well, Black people rooted for OJ. First of all, OJ wasn't ours until he was again. We could care less about OJ because he wasn't ours. OJ was they good old boy. Literally, OJ was a good old boy. What happened with Rodney King was real. And that was part of our first, well, not mine, but a lot of people's first introduction to true police brutality. And so after those cops got off for Rodney King, a lot of the jurors did say, well, this is payback for Rodney King because we're in that same time period. But more of it wasn't rooting for OJ, and Jesse Jackson said this, that we weren't rooting for OJ, we were rooting for Johnny Cochran. So that part. I just, it is what it is. If you sit and people, and I always read the comments. I always go to the comments, and it's just white people in awe. Even the Sir Man had something to say about it. So if that's the case, if you feel so strongly, then let's go back. Let's go back to Emmett Till, and can we go back in time to all the times that we were put in jail for things that we did not do, or killed, or hung? Let's go back. It is amazing to me how you're in such an uproar about this Black man, but John did stuff for centuries and gotten away with it until this day. And when these cops for the Dexter case get off, and they probably will, there it is again. So stop bitching and sit down.
He won. There you go.
He won. One out
now,
of.
Get the other one. Thanks for the question, though, guys.
But I mean, somebody died though. Still though,
He
like
died.
we don't know.
Let him in that part. He died.
Well,
his family.
Like he died, and the two victims died. So I don't know, man.
That part. That's a no man.
Yeah.
And like you said, Ron, I don't wish that on anybody.
I don't wish death on nobody.
But we literally, if we look at history, this is something that is constantly happening to us, and one person gets off because you didn't do your job, but his lawyers did theirs. So there it is.
There it is.
Our last one, dear Toya, yet another relationship issue dealing with women. At what point will women stop being so damn entitled? Do you think if a woman asks a man out, that she should pay? I love the show. Just want to hear some logical options from this video. Signed, Single for Life. Now we single for life. We just fed up.
Drizzle.
Single for life is a man.
All right, so let me get this straight. You invited me out to come to eat, and that was not even my idea. That was your idea, right?
Okay, and the problem is?
And I'm offering to pay half, but you want me to pay the whole thing?
I'm the woman. I shouldn't have to pay anything. Yeah, I invited you out because I wanted to go out. That doesn't mean I have to pay.
No, this was your idea. Actually, I don't even have to be a gentleman to pay half of it.
Because you're going to pay it all.
But this was your idea to come out. You're the one that invited me out.
And you're the man, so you have to pay the bill.
Says who?
Says me. What do you mean?
In what book is that written in?
It doesn't have to be written. That's just a rule.
This is my card right here. I'm trying to tell you, I'm going to pay half of the bill. How much is it? Hold on.
You pay the whole bill, or you sleep on the couch.
300.
You pay the whole bill, or you sleep on the couch.
I ain't even trying to go to your house. I'm trying to go home. How about that?
All then take me home though, but you're still paying this damn bill.
$320, and I'm trying to tell you, I'm gonna pay half of it. And you telling me to pay the whole thing?
Yeah.
When it was your idea to take me out?
Yeah.
Because of what again?
Because you're the man and you're responsible for the bill.
I'm about to take my goddamn card back in my wallet because it's some bull right there.
I guess
See,
who else is gonna be
this is
washing
why I'm
dishes?
trying to tell man.
I guess you're
They
gonna
don't
be
listen.
washing dishes then. Because I'm leaving.
Who washing dishes?
You.
Where? You're the one that was ordering all this shit. See all this shit over here? You're the one that was ordering all that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's your problem, not mine. And I'm still trying to offer. I'm gonna pay half of it. Are you gonna pay half?
No. I ain't paying nothing.
Drizzle. Playmaker, what's your thoughts? Q, what's your thoughts, Q? What's your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I get it first. Look here to any single women out here. If you ask me to go out, that means you asked me on a date. Now, if I ask you, I expect to pay because I asked you. I am taking up your time. I am trying to court you. You asked me on a date, you're trying to court me. Now, why am I paying for my time if you
Drizzle. South guy era.
paying for my time when you ask me, why am I paying for the run-up bills that you ran up? You asked me going there, I'm leaving my wallet at home.
Drizzle.
Don't pick me up. Tell me where I'm gonna pick me up. If you're gonna ask me,
Hey, thank you.
All right. You asked him. We get the point.
Thank you. We're going to Playmaker.
So before I get into my rant, I'll just say, Q, just be careful. Don't leave that wallet at home because when the police come to settle that bill, they're gonna look at the man first.
Drizzle. But continue.
Just keep that in mind. If she run out, they're gonna look at you first. They're gonna come get you first. But I guess I'm a little bit old school, and I remember when I was growing up. And before I had a job, my mom would give me a couple of dollars to take a woman out, and she would tell me, to pay for the woman, even if I had to eat a salad and drink water. If a woman asks me out, I'm gonna say, yeah, we can go out or whatever, and we're gonna go out and have a good time, and I'm gonna offer to to pay, or to pay half, or to get the tip or something, because that's just how I was brought up. So
the bill was $300. He offered to pay half, but she didn't want to go with it. But okay, I agree with you.
I'll wait till it's my turn.
Thank you, RJ. That's what I'm going to you last, RJ.
That clip that you're talking about was funny as hell. I got mad when I heard it. But here's the thought process I'm gonna say is this. You got to define who you want to spend time with and who you're going to spend your time.
Fact.
And you got to have like some serious conversations prior to even getting to this place of going on dating. Like, what does a date look like? How does that work? All those type of questions have to be a part of you're courting this person and then starting to think about taking them out and doing things. I think it's imprudent for somebody to ask you to spend a significant amount of money on them and y'all have not had a level of time where y'all vested in each other. And I think if you begin doing that, you got to keep doing that. And I don't think that's something that I want to keep doing based upon circumstances that might change due to the way you view me. So that's a negative for me. We're going to go Dutch, potentially. Or if I ask you out and I want to take you out, then I'm going to make plans to ensure that I take you where I want you to go, how I want us to eat, and I'm going to do nice things for you. But at the same time, without a level of time vested, I ain't doing it.
Go ahead, T.
Like that old rap song, no, I'm not going to be able to do it.
Go ahead, T. I let you jump your red in. I get mine a little bit. Go ahead, T.
Drizzle.
Drizzle.
I was raised as a woman to always, my father used to always say, make sure you always have money with you when you go out with a man, just in case he can't afford to pay for you. But you always have money. Also, we already had this. We had this conversation this weekend while we were out, didn't we, Hank? About first dates and how RD and I's first date, I asked him out for breakfast. We ended up spending the whole day together. So I paid for breakfast and then we went to dinner and he paid for dinner because I asked him out for breakfast. And then while we were doing our thing during the day, he said, you want to get some dinner? And I would have paid for dinner too, but he pulled out his card and paid for dinner. If I'm asking you on a date, that means I'm going to pay. That is just logical. Those are the rules. And a lot of men will say, no, you don't have to pay. And that's sweet. I get it. But I'm going in my mind, I'm going to have enough money to pay. What are you eating? It's just two of you, $320 worth of food. What did you get? And you ain't have no money. Somebody didn't raise these people right. These women ain't being raised right. Now I'm like, it's upset. They upset.
So my thing, and I'm a gentleman. I was raised to be a gentleman and take care of ladies. I understand that. But the day is the mindset. Like you said, we go on a date. You have no consideration for your date. So you're just gonna throw all of this, expect this man to pay for it. So in my older years, and although I'm not on the streets, I have entered my soft guy era, as you done heard a couple of times me say. So in my mind, if you ask me out, you should get rate charges on your phone for calling me. I should get paid for you calling me to ask me out, drizzle. And if you're gonna take me out, you should pay everything and the tip. I didn't ask you out. Ashley, that we talked about this morning, and you know I'm being a little facetious, but we're gonna have fun with it. You should pay me and just let you pay the Uber. You pay me for my time and dinner.
And this is why you're married for all these years, sir. And
this is why I'm married for 25
will not be out here in these streets with that attitude.
Before anyone clips this and you end up on social media, he is married, and I am proof of that marriage.
But I
was at the wedding. I saw it happen.
Have some communication with each other. Have some consideration for each other in relationships on the real deal.
Yes. So here's another thing.
Don't be spending body whip on people. That's ridiculous.
So here's another thing that I heard this weekend that was really good that we watched. Liking somebody. We got
about 2 minutes left and last words. So go ahead, make the last
liking somebody is basic as hell. Because if you're looking to be with somebody that I just like you off of what I see, you don't really know that person. Have the conversation. Communicate with one another before you even go on a first date. Like we said this weekend, we talked for 6 months maybe before we were friends, before we went on our first date. So that part. So you know what you're dealing with.
Good stuff. Quickly, guys, about a couple of seconds. Last words tonight. We ran to the break. RJ, your last word for the night.
Find somebody that makes you happy, and make sure your economics and your morals and values.
Playmaker, last word for the night.
Hey, my thing is just simple. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Q.
If any Republican has an issue with OJ getting off scot-free, even though he's dead now, ask him who his lawyer was.
Good stuff. And the last word, guys, hey, like always, I'm going to keep it brief. Love one another. Toya, your last words right quick, Toya.
Communicate. Have a conversation before you open them legs.
And there you go, guys. And again, may your next move be the game changer. Peace.